In the last lecture module, we were looking at that first meditation, and specifically, we were looking at Descartes' execution of the negative project, that negative epistemic project of undermining his former belief and knowledge edifice by attacking its very foundational beliefs, its very foundational judgments, those judgments that are based on our sensory experiences, the immediacy of our sensations. So Descartes articulates this principle of justification, namely that he should withhold assent from all judgments. He should consider unjustified all beliefs that he has even the slightest cause for doubting, that aren't absolutely certain to be correct. And so he introduces this first argument, the argument from illusion. The argument from illusion, as I noted, has a long history in philosophy and in skepticism. It has been offered as an argument for external world skepticism, or at least for skepticism about some aspects of the world, since antiquity, since the time of ancient Greece. So Descartes offers up this argument from illusion, and the argument from illusion essentially says there are sensory experiences that we have that mislead us about the nature of the world. They are illusions. They're not veridical. They are mistakes in our sensory processing. And because they exist, that is, these non-veridical experiences, these sensations that in effect mislead us about the nature of the world, we should be skeptical of all of our sensations. We should not think that we know about the nature of the world on the basis of any of our experiences. And Descartes thinks that this is a good start, but he thinks the argument is neither comprehensive enough nor powerful enough. And specifically, Descartes notes that illusions are very well-defined types of experiences. It's not as though they're just randomly occurring non-veridical sensory experiences or inaccurate judgments or visual beliefs that we form without any pattern. All the illusions have a pattern to them. There's no such thing as a random illusion. So, for example, we may think, wow, that McGurk effect is amazing. I had no idea that my vision interacted with my speech perception in this way that actually caused me to have illusory perceptions of the sound of what people were saying. And that may seem very powerful. It may seem to undermine our confidence in our ability to understand and see what people are saying. However, the McGurk effect is a very specific kind of illusion. It isn't just a general random illusion. It's an illusion that has to do with the way vision affects speech processing. And so outside of the domain of speech processing and outside the domain of very specific instances of vision affecting speech processing, there is no cause to doubt our speech perception. And so as a result, the difficulty that Descartes finds with the illusion argument is that it isn't comprehensive enough. It isn't therefore powerful enough. It doesn't call into question every possible sensory experience that you have, every possible judgment about the causes of those sensory experiences, and therefore it's not a successful skeptical argument in his mind. So he tries to ratchet it up a notch, as it were. He turns to a more powerful, more comprehensive argument next, the dreaming argument. And the dreaming argument has the same basic strategy. It attempts to call into question all of our experiences and all of the judgments that we make about the nature of the world based on those experiences. And it does it in a different way than the illusion argument. It suggests that we have dreams that are so vivid, experiences that are so realistic, but that have no correspondence to what's going on in the world at all. That it seems plausible to us, at least minimally plausible to us, that when we are dreaming, we are being deceived in a way that we could be deceived by any experience. Our dreaming experiences, he tells us, are incapable of being differentiated from our waking experiences, at least sometimes. And so we can have experiences, not visual and speech perception experiences, not perceptions about relative size at depth, like the people kicking over the Leaning Tower of Pisa and so on. But any experience could potentially be a dreaming experience that seemed really real, that caused us to believe that the world was this way, when in fact it wasn't caused by the world at all. It was just a dream. And so Descartes thinks he's got a much more powerful, more comprehensive skeptical argument in the dreaming argument. So on paragraph 5, he says, I cannot forget that at other times I've been deceived in sleep by similar illusions, and attentively considering these cases, I perceive so clearly that there exists no certain marks by which a state of waking can ever be distinguished from sleep, that I feel greatly astonished, and in amazement I almost persuade myself that I am now dreaming. So now Descartes thinks, I've got a much more powerful skeptical argument. This could be any sensory experience, and my judgments about those experiences, they are not accurate judgments about the causes, the nature of the world, given those experiences. And so it looks like now I've escaped the limitations of the illusion argument, because a dream can be about anything. It can be about speech perception. It can be about relative size at depth. It can be about color. It can be about all sorts of things. And so now Descartes seems to have a much more powerful argument. Unfortunately, Descartes thinks, wait a minute, even this scenario, even the dreaming argument isn't powerful enough. It's not comprehensive enough, because there are some things that I cannot dream are inaccurate, that I cannot have dreams about, which don't reflect the real nature of the world. So, for example, he says, I can't dream that squares aren't four-sided enclosed planar figures. I can't dream that two shades of red aren't the same kind of color. There are limitations to my ability. I can't dream that 4 oranges are in fact 7 oranges. And so even in the dreaming argument, there are some things that I just can't have dreams about that aren't in fact accurate reflections of the way the world really is, because in effect my dreams are still shaped by, informed by, structured by my veridical perceptions, my accurate judgments about the real world based on sensation. And so the dreaming argument, even as powerful, as comprehensive as it is, isn't sufficiently powerful and comprehensive enough, Descartes thinks, to undermine his entire belief edifice.